Hello, this is Karina Antonopoulos with the Center for Highly Sensitive People, and today is day 2 of the 14 Days to What I Want little mini course. So we have another question prompt today. I'm going to say it early on so that you can start thinking about it, and as soon as you start to get clarity, whatever starts to come to you, start writing in the comments, okay? So today's question is, what have I always wanted? What have I always wanted? Okay, or another way of asking it is, what have I consistently wanted? So this question has been really important for me, especially because over the years, so I'm the type of person where, first of all, I get FOMO. I see someone else is doing something and I want to do that, or I want it. Second thing is I have shiny object syndrome, so similar, where I'm constantly shifting my focus onto something else, a new project, a new idea, a new way of being, a new way of living, and that was consistent for me for many years of my life. The thing is, even in high school, I remember I was like, I don't want people to have me figured out. So if someone says, oh, Karina is this way, I'm gonna do something completely opposite and try to prove them wrong, that they don't know me and I'm not this little goody two shoes that they think I am. So I'm gonna go do this thing and I'm gonna shock them all. But the thing is, I wasn't consistent in who I was and who I was showing up as the world. So it was very confusing to people. They didn't know how to be with me. And here I am thinking I'm beating some sort of game, proving people wrong, that I'm not in the box that they put me in. But really, people need to know, and they want to know who you are and what you're about, so that they can show up accordingly, and so that they know why to come to you, or why to connect with you, or what to bring up in a conversation. So there is one thing, and so I call this frequency hopping. Okay, so when you work with me in my Synchronize Your Life coaching program, I use a lot of terms that I make up. So one of them is frequency hopping, and basically that means that you go from one station, one radio frequency, to another, because first of all, sometimes because it's fun, right? But also because maybe like me, you're trying to prove someone wrong or different. I'm not this way, so I'm going to show them different. But also for me, I loved experimenting. I wanted to experience everything in life. And so I've come to realize that it's really not bad. It's not bad to frequency hop. It's just, it can really burn you out. Of course, my dog's barking again. Anyway, I feel like he was barking the whole video last time and it was making me nervous because it was distracting me, but we'll see if I can get through this. So, it is really good, especially early on in your life, to experiment and to try out as much as possible, because the only way to figure out what you really want is to try out different things. The truth is if you never let yourself actually experience anything, and you just always think about it and plan for it, but then you never actually experience it, you're never going to know if you really do like that thing. So with my clients, one of the parts of our work together is experimentation. It's every homework is an experiment. I dare you, go out and experiment and do this thing. Try it out. Let me know how it works for you. If it doesn't work, I'll give you something else. Okay? But a big part of life coaching is finding new experiments to try out. So that's really important, especially when you're figuring out what you want. However, today I want to bring you back to your foundation. I want to bring you back to your feet and where you are and where you've always been and what's important to you. Okay? Because we can only build from where we are. So think about what has been consistently true for you, even since you were a little child. Okay? A little girl, little boy, however you want to identify yourself. What has consistently been true for you in regards to work, in regards to the type of person you want to be in the world, in regards to friendship, in regards to an intimate relationship, in regards to health? coming back to that core, those core values, that foundation is often what's going to help you bring clarity on where you can build in this moment. It's a lot easier to build from where you are than it is to, like I call, build a castle in the sky. That's one of my analogies. It's much easier to build a house from the ground up with a strong foundation than believe that you can build some sort of castle in the sky. And sometimes when we ask the universe for something and we say we want something, that's what it feels like. It feels like we're asking for this like crazy thing that we don't believe is even possible. We're just kind of reaching for it, and like it feels almost unobtainable. And I want you to come back to your foundation, come back to what has always been true for you, always been true about the things that you want in this life, and know that, and to build from that, okay? So just remember, when we are asking for what we want, okay, share in the comments right now, just one thing. What is one thing that you are focusing on? Is it work? Is it relationships? Is it your health? Is it your relationship with yourself? Or is it your spirituality? Okay, those are the 5 areas that I work with people on. Which one right now are you working on? Okay, we want to focus on one. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about those 5 areas probably tomorrow. But pick one for right now, okay? Pick one, because we need to create a point of focus. And here's the thing with the universe, when you're asking the universe to co-create with you, right? Because we want to co-create with the universe. We don't want to be a soul creator, as I say. Well, we want to be a co-creator. A soul creator, you're a soul creator if you say that you want something and then you try to think of every little step on how to get there, and then you try to problem solve every which way that it can go wrong and then try to prevent that. Soul creators are exhausted all the time because they're trying to do all the work by themselves. They're trying to figure out when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, who that thing is going to happen with, the timeline, and even like how. Okay, so how is very much co-created with the universe, but you need to focus on the what. Your job is the what and the why. Okay, I'll go more into that as we go on with this series, but your job is to focus on the what and the why. So we want to start to focus, bring some attention to one area. Because the thing is, when you consistently want the same thing, it's going to be a lot easier for the universe to help co-create with you. But if you keep shifting your focus, it's like there's a lag time. So it's kind of like changing the destination in your GPS, right? It's like, okay, I want to go to the store. Wait, no, I want to go to the supermarket that's across the town. No, I want to go to my friend's house. It's like the GPS is like, okay, recalculating. The GPS will work with you and will change direction, but you'll never actually go anywhere and you'll never actually do anything. Okay, so let yourself be consistent. Just let yourself get to that first destination. Pick one, go for it, and be consistent. That is the most important thing. So the other thing is, we're talking today about consistency. So what I love about consistency is that every time you want the same thing, the energy behind co-creating that grows. Okay, so even if you plant the seed today that you want to buy a new car, okay, actually a seed that I planted is I want a camera. I love taking pictures. I don't know why I don't have a fancy camera. I mean, I have my iPhone, which takes amazing pictures, but one of my hobbies is photography and I love it. So I really want to explore that more. But right now, putting it out to the universe, okay, I want a camera. I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know when. I don't know how. I'm just planting the seed that I want a camera, okay, and I want to take more pictures. So something like that, I'm going to kind of put on the back burner because it's not like so pressing and so imminent that like I need a camera this second, right? It's not like I don't have anything. Okay, so some things like that where you can put it on the shelf. But I will say I've wanted this for a long time. but I haven't really let myself acknowledge that I wanted this for a long time. And that's the thing about what I love about day two's question is like, what have you always wanted? What have you consistently wanted? It's like, sometimes you've consistently wanted the same thing, but you just never gave yourself permission to say what that is. Okay, so today I want you to acknowledge that, especially something that maybe has been in the background. So just something personal. I might have shared this with some of you, maybe on a live, but my husband is a veterinarian, and we were talking about buying a business together, a veterinary business. And I was all for going in there, helping managing the practice, being his right-wing person to do all the things that he couldn't do, right? Because I have my experience with my business. And we've been talking about this for many, many years. So there was some consistency behind it. But like over the last 2 years specifically, we've been looking to actually buy a place. And everything kept falling through. Every place that we found just kept falling through over and over again. And I was like, okay. So if this thing doesn't happen, the question that I kept coming back to is like, well, what have I consistently always wanted? What have I consistently and always wanted? And I mean, consistently and always, I am a highly sensitive person, life coach and educator. Like, that is runs through my blood and my bones, and like, this is what I'm going to do forever. Maybe I'll do other things. Like right now, my other full-time job is being a mother and, growing my family. So I think about like, okay, well, maybe that thing's not going to work out. And we had a conversation the other day about that like, all right, well, maybe we won't buy a practice together. Maybe you should just stay in a job, and I should just continue to work on my business and, be the mom who stays, who's mostly with my kid. And like saying that and having that conversation just was like a sigh of relief. It was like, oh, I don't have to like change careers. And I don't have to like pressure myself to like learn all these new things that I would learn, but I don't necessarily, I don't know, it would be hard. It would be a learning curve for me to like change careers and be in the veterinary world. I mean, I've been in it since my husband's in vet school, but it wouldn't come as easily. Like, that's not my zone of genius. That would be like my zone of excellence for people who know about Gay Hendricks and the Big Leap. But coaching is my zone of genius. So we had that conversation just the other night about like, I mean, I've consistently, since I was in high school, like, I've been wanting to be a counselor. I wanted to do mental health. I want to work one-on-one people. I want to work in groups. And I am doing that with life coaching. But I also want to do training for highly sensitive people. And I don't know, some of you know this, some of you don't, but I did 3 years of my master's degree online. And then my school wouldn't let me finish, or New York State rather, wouldn't let me finish the degree because of some drama around they're not accepted or certified in the state of New York. So it's Walden University. So now I have a 3-year master's degree, actually 3 years of a master's degree, but no actually piece of paper that says I have the degree. So I can't get my license, which means that any training that I do for highly sensitive people in a professional setting, I can't offer CEU credits, which sucks because, like, this is something I really want to do. So I talked to my husband about like, here's this seed, here's this thing that like, not even a seed, it's like a bulb. It's like big. It's been with me since high school. Like, I want to do this thing. I just didn't know what capacity. And so acknowledging that, we've talked about like, okay, well, what would I need to do to like go back to school and finish the degree? And it might not happen with Walden. I might have to start all over square one, but it might be worth it. And I might be able to do it slowly and just do one class at a time. And that kind of like makes me want to cry because I have a lot of student loan money, but it's like, it would be worth it because like, this is really important to me. And this is what I want to do in my life. Okay. So I wanted to share that story with you because sometimes like we think we really want something and that is like coming from up here. And other times it's like our heart is going to tell us something different. Okay, so just remember that your mind is going to change its mind every day, but your heart is going to be consistent. Your heart is going to be consistent. Okay, so when I say this question on day 2, what have you consistently wanted? What I'm really doing is inviting you to check in with your heart, not with your mind, okay? Your mind is going to think of creative ideas and all these brilliant things that you can do. And my solution to that is to create some form of long-term list. So I started this, I worked with a business coach. She knew about my shiny object syndrome practice, and so she kind of built it into the business plan with me, where we create a long-term list. So any idea that I have goes on the long-term list, and then it has to charge up. That idea has to get charged up. I'm not going to go shifting all of my energy into that new project because I have other things that I don't want to drop the ball on. And sometimes I'll start 1, 2, 3 projects, and then I'll have 5 projects that I'm working on because my excitement of a new project got me distracted. Okay, so I've learned to just commit to like maximum 3 projects over a 6-month period. This is something that we would talk about in Synchronize Your Life, around like how to synchronize your business, how to bring your business ideas into life, how to bring even your personal projects and your life ideas to life, right? It doesn't have to just be business. It could be personal projects like organizing your home or like moving somewhere, like literally, I call it project development planning. Like that's one of my favorite things to do, helping my clients with. So, but we would break it down together, and I would teach you on how to consult with your heart every step of the way so that you're not constantly getting distracted. You're not always in your head worrying about the next steps, worrying how it's going to play out. You're just taking the next step, okay? But yeah, sometimes we do need to play it out, all right? So if you are like me and you get shiny object syndrome and you have so many amazing ideas, make sure you start a long-term list. Let those ideas percolate and charge up, as I say. And if they're around in 6 months, revisit them, because if they still have that same powerful energy, it's going to be even more powerful if the inspiration is still there 6 months later. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk about today is like when you commit to something, really focus on it for, it depends on what the thing is, but sometimes it's 3 months, sometimes it's 6 months, and sometimes it's a year. Okay, so when it comes to things like health, it's at least a year commitment. Like, think about like me getting pregnant for the first time. It took 9 months to build my baby, and then it took me, and then it took me another 9 months to like start to feel like my kind of normal in my body again. And so just remember that, like, give yourself a year, especially if it's something health related, because the time that it took to have some sort of chronic health issue was probably much longer than like a week. You have a chronic issue or you have something there, because it's taken a long time to build up. So give it that same amount of time that maybe it took to build up in your life, in your body. I have some questions here. All right, so welcome Yara, welcome Danielle. I think Andrea was on here before. Oh, that sucks, but here you are. Yes, I'm here. That's for sure. All right, what if you try a project you would like to do, but you can't get yourself to keep doing it? So I wanted to talk about this. Sometimes, here's the thing about people like me who, if you're like me, so there's the Kolbe. So there's one assessment you can take. It's Kolbe. And on the Kolbe, I'm a high quick start, as they say. I get an idea and then I want to go for it. And if I can't go for it, then I lose momentum and I start to kind of feel depressed. So like I have to act on my ideas and I have to get started quickly. The thing is, that has really held me back, because I would have other projects on the table and I would start to lose my motivation around them. So yes, sometimes projects have run its course. Sometimes projects can be put on the back burner. So like my podcast, for example, I had wanted to do a podcast for over a year. I even recorded an entire season of episodes, and I didn't release it because at the time it wasn't a priority. It couldn't be a priority. But because I'm a quick start, I got those recordings all done. Of course, I just didn't launch it. So I waited until the next year because I still wanted that podcast out there. I waited until the next year to launch it, and then I did a really great launch focusing on the launch. And then I released 1 episode a month from there. And during that year, I recorded a whole season 2. But guess what? My season 2 has never been launched because after that, I got pregnant. We moved into our new house. Then I had a toddler, a baby that I had to raise. So I had to really shift my focus onto other projects, right? My life project with my son that was more important, that was going to take up more of my time. So yes, some projects you can put on the back burner or on the shelf, right? Some projects, they lose all their steam and momentum. And like, there are some things that I lose momentum, like especially when I have one program. That's why you guys see me. I have like 10 programs. I have many programs, and that's because that works for me. I get bored talking about and promoting one thing for forever. And I think that's where that was kind of a miss with like one of the business coaches that I used to work with. Like she was all about pick one program, go all in, that's your signature program, right? But like just this year I found another coach, and you know, she has multiple programs because there are multiple people that I serve and they all don't want the same thing, and people want bite size, like they want smaller bite size things. So I like to have shorter programs, at least right now, and then do coaching long term with people for who need the long-term coaching. And then in it, we can jump from program to program. That's what we do. So maybe we'll start off focusing on like overwhelm and overstimulation. My Synchronize Your Life program is kind of my signature program. Like we literally can go through all those 5 areas that I said. Your relationship to yourself, to others, to your spirituality, your work, and your health. But then I have like my Confrontation for Empaths program, and like when I was planning that, I was all into it, right? And I launched it, and we had a great group, and I haven't felt inspired to launch it again. So just know that like, yeah, you're gonna have certain projects, and if you're like me and you like things to move quickly, then work with that, okay? You don't have to work the way other people work if it doesn't work for you. Let yourself experiment, going back to our experimentation, on what works for you. And to pay attention to what consistently works for you instead of trying to always copy what other people are doing. Okay, so Yara said, right, yep, yeah, that makes sense to me too, thank you, you're welcome. Okay, great question, Yara. Thanks for being here, thanks for asking. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. But I'm going to tie up today's video today. Please share in the comments. Share with me, what area are you working on? But what have you consistently wanted? What have you always wanted since you were a kid? Okay, and let's start to break that down on, is this something to start to put more energy and focus on now, to bring to life? Is this something to put on the shelf for now? Okay, let's continue this conversation in the comments. All right, and if you're watching from YouTube, come on over to the Center for Highly Sensitive People on the Facebook group, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.